Hey guys, welcome back to another video and what should be the last video of 2024. This was a crazy year honestly. But today I just have some of the newest mods to enhance your Skyrim, whether you just decide to grab one of them or all of them. So if you do end up grabbing one of them and you end up enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button down below, and if you're not subscribed, now would be a great time to do so, or after you download a mod. And because this is for PC users, make sure you also endorse the mod author for any mod you end up grabbing. And without further ado, let's dive right in. Starting off with the mod I've been waiting for, this new mod is called Dragon's Eye Minimap. I remember telling people previously in the comments of videos I was waiting for a mod to release before I got serious about my Wabbajack release, and this was that mod. This mod is a configurable and customizable minimap that rotates with your character, and you can interact with it as well. When you first install it, the interact key is the L button. You can use that to turn the minimap off or on. You can also use it to interact with it and change where the map is, like zoom in and out of it. At base, when you first install this mod and its requirements, it won't show the enemies and friendly NPCs on the minimap like you're seeing. You have to turn that on in the local map upgrade settings, which is a requirement for this mod. But another add-on for this mod, if you happen to be using Edge UI, you can grab the Edge UI patch. You don't have to run dynamic interface patcher or anything like that. You just install it and run the game. But fair warning, this mod is extremely new, so expect bugs and just hope it gets updated. Up next, a new armor mod, which is called a Riverfolk Clothes Set, adding in a unisex light armor to your game that comes with basic pieces of armor. Nothing really fancy going on here, but the pieces of clothing does come with SMP integrated into it, so you will need to have FSMP installed or your clothing will clip into the ground. To obtain this new set, all you have to do is craft it at any forge with pretty much no requirements needed, just the basic materials, no perks at all. I really recommend, if you're just now finding out about Watchtower, to check out their mod page because they aren't afraid to add different colors and styles into Skyrim while keeping it lore friendly, so you'll get more colors than silver, black, or white. But I mean, those are my favorite colors on armors anyway. But moving on to our next mod, that is an extension to the Orc Exiles series, but for the Rift Watchtower, which I didn't even realize before this mod was an Orc bandit camp. This mod overhauls the exterior of the Watchtower. From as you see, and it was just a tower with no defenses or really anything to make it stand out, probably why I didn't realize what it was. But now it has its own fortifications and furniture, but nothing too fancy. It still looks like it's being built upon, and while they are repairing the fort in their own way, they're making full use of the already destroyed ruins that were there and has been expanded on by this mod being added to it. Skyrim is such a diverse land, but Bethesda never really made it feel or look like it. They did the bare minimum for every race besides Nords and Dark Elves, so the Orc Exile series is pretty much fixing that and making orcs seem like they were a regular citizen in Skyrim. I mean, they still do kind of hate Nords, but at least they seem like a regular occurrence now. And even with this overhaul being so extensive and just for the exterior of Rift Watchtower, it still isn't heavy on the FPS, so I believe that anyone above a 2080 can use this. But on to our next mod, which is a new monster for Skyrim. This mod is called Widow Daedra, adding in 2 new creatures and 2 new spell books just to summon those creatures. The Widow Daedra doesn't just spawn like I'm showing here, they are conjured by high level conjurers in later game, and once the Widow is spawned, they also spawn their own creatures, which is the horrifying spider. And they have quite the combat package. If they aren't attacking you with melee attacks, they are shooting lightning at you, and if you keep running away and they run out of magicka, then they just summon their spider friendly. But otherwise, they'll mainly be in your face attacking you until you end up dying, because they are pretty tanky. You can also summon these as well, because the spell books, to get them, all you have to do is kill conjurers who were summoning these, and they'll sometimes have them in your inventory, so you can now summon these. Someone's probably going to retexture these for the wrong reasons. But moving on to our next mod, which is a mod I wanted to showcase before, but I got kind of busy. This next mod is called Phantom Horse. It lets you summon a horse by simply running and clicking the hotkey. To get the Phantom Horse, all you have to do is go to the Riverwood Trader, which you can get pretty early on, but it does cost quite a bit, unless you're not afraid of grabbing a bounty with it. It also does come with the MCM so that you can change the hotkey, but I just left it as the interact button because you really won't interact with much. And the spells get added to your inventory as sort of a power, so you don't have to cast it with your hand. You just use whatever you set your shout key to. And the way that the spell works is that whenever you start running, after you activate the power, it's on automatically unless you choose to turn it off. But whenever you start running, you just click the interact button, which is default E for me, or whatever you decided to change it to an MCM, and the horse will be summoned. And to leave the horse or unsummon it, you just simply stop moving and the horse will just disappear. And then you can redo it, it doesn't really cost anything. It's just a simple utility mod. And now we're going to move on to another armor mod, but this time we're doing a heavy armor. This mod is called Lifesworn Vestiges, Champion of Arkay. And just like the previous mod, this one is unisex and it features its own custom physics. But what is different about this mod is that this one has its own weapon to complete the set, which is just a pretty deadly warhammer honestly. And while this armor does have 3BA patches already out for it, the base of this mod doesn't come with that, so you don't have to build your own body slide. It's just built towards vanilla body, so you won't be invisible. But if you want to see your character assets, for whatever reason, then you'll have to go and grab the separate patch. And unlike the previous armor, you cannot craft this armor, you have to find it in your game. Which at base, unless it is changed, is inside of the Reachcliff Cave. Not many mods touch that location, so it should be pretty easy to find. And for those that don't know, Reachcliff Cave is the location where the cannibals are for that one quest. So you might have to be prepared to fight for your life if you want this cool looking armor.
You look like you lost a game or something.
This next mod up is called Naked Comments Overhaul. As the title suggests, this completely overhauls the naked system behaviors, making characters react to you with numerous conditions such as their race and gender, as well as responding to you based on your race and gender. So all in all, you can get quite a mix of reactions because also unique characters may have their own unique reactions to you being naked based on your relationship status with said NPC.
Well, that's bold.
You definitely won't get a response out of every NPC, but it is fun to hear when you do hear it. I love little immersion mods like this. Up next, we have a new weapon mod, which I don't usually showcase. But this mod is called Sentinel, and I'm not even going to try and say that last part, I apologize. I looked up how to say it and I still couldn't say it, closest I can get is Zweihander, but that's not how you say it. Also, one more quick little side note, if you know where this location is for this reflection, let me know down in the comments because I am curious. But this mod's a heavy greatsword to your game that will give a perk, and based on your two-handed skill, which will change the perk, giving you better perks as you level up your two-handed skill, if that makes sense. At base though, besides all the perk giving, it has ebony stats, maybe a little bit more, and the sword can also be enchanted to make it even more powerful. And it's pretty simple to get, you just have to craft it once you get the requirements. Up next, one I was surprised to find honestly, but this mod is called Pargran Village Ruins. This mod is a destroyed small village to the outside of Gallows Rock, at the Talos Shrine that many quests kind of send you to over time. And based on the description, this was once a thriving village that existed around the era of Arena. But in Bethesda's usual fashion, they didn't see this village fit to be put into the final product of Skyrim. So this mod remedies that by adding this town back, but in a destroyed state just to show the passage of time and how Skyrim is constantly at war. And I can admit that I wasn't really playing Bethesda games back then, so I missed a lot of great games like Oblivion or New Vegas, and I never really got back into them because of the graphics until just recently. So it is nice to see little lore details being added back into Skyrim. And at the state of this mod's release, there is only one interior, which does not have a Lux patch, but that's perfectly fine. I doubt you ever go inside of there again. Up next, a massive texture overhaul with the name Vanaheimr. If I said that right, mines and caves. This is the 4K version of course because it is a showcase. This mod adds, if you choose it during installation, complex parallax to mines, caves, as well as custom textures for ice caves. And while the textures are completely new and pretty modern in my opinion, the texture scheme still follows that of vanilla Skyrim, so they don't feel out of place even if you decide not to use the other textures from the Vanaheimr series. And if you happen to be using terrain parallax blending fix, which a lot of texture mods in 2024 require now to make it work fully, this mod also comes with the patch for it, but it is completely optional, so you can get the textures with or without it. In my opinion, the new textures for the ice caves of Skyrim is definitely the best looking. I love the new rigged textures instead of being completely smooth ice. But also, side note and little Easter egg, the hanging upside down skeleton with the enchanted sword beneath it is an Easter egg that calls towards Star Wars. which if you watched it is from The Empire Strikes Back, where he got stuck and almost ate, but he had to sneak out. Of course I can't show any audio with this because I'm afraid of even showing this clip already because of copyright, but hopefully I get away with it. It feels like 2023 was for the utility of Skyrim fixing the base game, while 2024 was overhauling the game and making it feel modern. But that was pretty much it for today, guys. If you ended up liking this video or anything about it, make sure to hit that like button. But as of right now, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.